the Soundcloud era. An era that is almost 10 years old, oh my god. Time of caps, V-Lone, ripped up skinny jeans with long shirts and jackets to go on top. And when fun kinda came back to hip hop. In a way, you can look at the Soundcloud era like the swag era 2.0. Now it wasn't as colorful as the swag era, but the fun and carefree vibes was there, with the music, the dances, the whole internet culture around it. And most importantly, the OGs hating every second of it. Truly a wonderful time. I mean, there's a reason why this era is so fondly remembered. So today, I want to dive into the SoundCloud era fully, meaning from its infancy all the way back in like 2014, 2015, to its death in 2019. But before we do, shout out Raven for letting me use some of his beats for this video. My favorite producer on YouTube, man. So, without further ado, let's get into the SoundCloud era, man.
There's nothing stupid or fruity going on. It's the way we talk, it's the way we live. Those are my babes, those my lovers, those my hubbies, whatever you want to call it.
Entering 2014, hip-hop kind of took a step back from a lot of the loud and colorful sounds of the previous swag era and started to become a lot more dark and moody. And when I say dark, I'm not talking about nothing evil in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, just something to get you in a certain vibe, a certain mood. Like, so many beats of this time had a moody, airy atmosphere to them. And it wasn't just rap, R&B was doing the same thing. Also with the vibe, people's fashion started to change. From colorful skinny jeans and graphic tees, snapbacks, to ripped up skinny jeans, long shirts, baseball caps, bucket hats. Rose patterns were big during this time. Also dashikis for some reason, I don't know. And this is also around the time where I feel like trap truly became the dominant subgenre of rap. And of course I know trap became popular in the 2000s with Gucci Mane, Jeezy, T.I. and them. But I feel like in the early to mid 2010s is when trap truly became cemented in its popularity. And the people who cemented its dominance will become the forefathers of the SoundCloud era. Future, Young Thug, Lil Wayne, Metro Boomin, Chief Keef, who although was a drill rapper, he would inspire many trap artists to come. And that future was already in progress, as the people who would become the face of the SoundCloud era was already making their moves during this time. Kodak Black would drop one of his biggest hits 2 years before it would blow up. He also dropped Skrilla in 2015, as well as a few projects, like Project Baby, Heart of the Projects, and Institution. Lil Uzi dropped a couple throwaways in 2014 before hopping on a song with A$AP Ferg in 2015. From there, he would drop his single Super Saiyan Trunks, before dropping his first official mixtape in October 2015 as a signed artist, called Love Is Rage. 21 Savage already had a couple songs with Zaytoven back in 2015, as well as that one song with Young Nudie, that one that go like... How do you make them sounds with a straight face, man? He also had a Slaughter mixtape in 2015. And they weren't the only ones. We had Playboi Carti, Rich the Kid, X, Ski Mask, even Chance the Rapper. Yes, I would consider Chance the Rapper a SoundCloud rapper. One of the first rappers to blow up on SoundCloud at that. With SoundCloud only starting up in 2007, it really didn't have that much traction. You know what I'm saying? People were still using MySpace to try to get their music heard, clickbaiting people on LimeWire and things like that, you know what I'm saying? Then, here comes Chance the Rapper in 2012 for this debut project, 10 Day, gaining traction on places like Facebook, DatPiff, and of course, SoundCloud. Then comes the following year with Acid Rap, one of his most beloved projects to date, getting big on yet again Facebook and SoundCloud. Matter of fact, that's where I first found Chance, you know what I'm saying? I heard this song Juice in a Vine back in 2015. Went to SoundCloud, found it, and was bumping this project the whole summer. Day by day, the internet was becoming the place to find new artists. And not just artists, but also personalities. Personalities like I'm Dante in 2015, who at the time was still doing Vine reactions, you know what I'm saying? Things popping off on YouTube. This is around the time I started to watch I'm Dante. I forgot how I found him. I think Jinx said something about him. I went to go check him out. Been watching ever since. No Jumper, who at the time was still interviewing small underground artists. And of course, hip-hop's favorite drunk, The War on Chirac, who in 2015 would come to be known as DJ Academics. Everybody working on their craft, getting their name out there, hoping for one day to blow up. And when the clock would strike 12 on January 1st, 2016, one by one, those dreams would come true.
I ain't left off Baton Rouge. You think I'm left off Baton Rouge?
Say again?
You say I'm left off Baton Rouge?
What you say?
You say I'm left off Baton Rouge?
Say again?
I knew 2016 was gonna be different when the first song to blow up was Panda by Designer. Who was Designer? What was Panda? Nobody knew. Everybody thought this was Future. But other than that, things were mostly normal for the most part. That is, of course, until XXL released their freshman list, changing the face of hip-hop forever. The new wave was officially here, and that new wave was filled with face tats, colored hair, clout goggles, off-white, V-Long, and Yeezys. The new motto for these rappers was forget everything boring, we tryna have fun. It was no longer about who was the hardest rapper anymore. It was all about who can get me lit the most. And people hated it. Everybody hated it. That's the thing, man. I feel like people be looking at 2016 with rose-tinted glasses, especially the XXL list, but be forgetting that everybody hated the 2016 freshman class, man. The common sentiment around the freshman class was that they ruined hip-hop. But despite all the negativity, these dudes was flourishing, man. Because for every one person who thought they was trash, there was thousands of people who loved what they was doing, myself included. Look, I ain't like the Cypher back then, but I did mess with their music, especially Uzi. I had this song 7 a.m. and Top on repeat on my middle school trip to Washington, D.C., man. Those memories will forever stay with me. And then when the flocking finally blew up, bro, my headphones, 8 o'clock in the morning, blasting on the way to school. And of course, those two weren't the only ones to share the spotlight. 21 Savage had No Heart and X with Metro Boomin. Lil Yachty had One Night and Broccoli with Baby Drown. Broccoli, man, talk about a song with a summer. And speaking on Yachty, let's talk about a song that I feel like did not get the love it deserved when it first dropped. That being All In. Now listen, this song, it's not great, I'm gonna be real. But at the same time, it is. You know what I'm saying? This song got the whole sailing team on it, doing their thing. Some people better than others. Cody Shane was the best one. Just putting that out there. And just the concept of the video, man. Them sitting in the school bus, coming out one by one to do their verses. I messed with it. It's charming. Still to this day, I mess with it. The summer of 2016 is also when Gucci Mane got released. Everybody was wilding out at the new and improved Gucci. They couldn't believe he was skinny. They thought he was a clone. And with Gucci Mane being released, it completed the list of fathers for this generation. And with this completed list, more and more of their children begin to pop up by the boatload. You had Famous Dex who blew up alongside Lyrical Lemonade, where his song Hit 'Em With It. After the success of Lyrical Lemonade came Lil Pump with D-Rose. And right after him came Smoke Perp with Audie. Ugly Guy blew up as a meme, but his song I Beat My Yeah. Playboy Cardi Woke Up Like This. P&B Rock blew up with Selfish. A Biggie with the Hoodie blew up with Not a Regular Person and My Stuff. Scheme S had Catch Me Outside. X had Look At Me. Lil Scars with Nowadays. Trippie Redd with Love Scars. Lil Mosey with Pull Up. Juice WRLD and Lucid Dreams. Amine with Caroline. Promethazine and Bands. Rob Stone with Chill Bill. Lil Peep. TK who took off with the race. My goodness, am I forgetting somebody? I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. New rappers was coming out of nowhere, popping up left and right. And yeah, some of them would go on to be flashes in the pan. Nothing more than just one song. But surprisingly, a lot of these dudes became superstars. When I say they took over, they took over. They had the youth in a chokehold, man. And mostly because they was young themselves. The statement of hip-hop being a young man's game was never more true than during this era. And with all of this going on in the music world, there was no better way to experience it than with all the new internet personalities on YouTube. We had Zeus and B. Lou, who was by far the best duo to watch during this time. Their freestyle intros are cemented in YouTube history. I'm Dante, who was always one of my favorite channels to watch for a new release. Sean C, who was always a great channel to watch for his interesting and sometimes thought-provoking reviews. Snort That Dude, who may not have been that big at the time, but he was always one of my favorites. The Cuff Boys and their very pretty mom. I like your moms. And of course, you cannot forget the podcast, No Jumper, when they were still about rap. Everyday Struggle was one of the best things to watch during this time. Dead in Hip Hop, it was always just fun to see how they cracked on the new gen with every new release. And while we on the internet, we cannot forget about type beats, man. Beats on YouTube took off during this era. Like the views people were getting just by using an artist's name and putting type beat after it was ridiculous. And don't get it twisted, people been uploading beats on YouTube. It's nothing new. If I remember back in the day with them J Squad and Cartoon Trap remix beats, the only new thing was the term type beat, which was huge for people like Cash Money AP, Taz Taylor, Blowhorn, Nick Mira, and all of Internet Money. Being a producer, an internet producer at that, was never more popular than what it was at this moment, man. Everybody was making beats. Me included, man. This was around the time I started to make beats. Now, there was trash beats. Don't go looking for them. You can't find them. But yeah, man, the start of my almost decade-long passion. And speaking of trash, we gotta talk about Musically, man. We gotta talk about Musically. For those who are unaware, Musically was TikTok before TikTok. All the jokes and memes people make about TikTokers doing these little goofy dances in the mirror, all of that originated on Musically. But for all the disrespect that Musically got back in the day, you gotta give them some credit for putting some people on, like Kent Jones, but I don't mind. And while we're on the topic of social media, we could get into Instagram because, sadly, stupid shenanigans were also a big part during this era. And the two biggest culprits of these shenanigans were Lil Pump and 6ix9ine. Bro, seeing these two on your home screen was just so annoying. Just being ignorant for the sake of being ignorant. I can't stand it. Then on top of that, you had rappers going on Instagram Live and beefing with each other. Like, it was stupid, man. At least we had the Black Beatles challenge to kind of negate all that bull crap. You know what I'm saying? That was always fun to see. Also, that got me in my feelings thing. That was cool too, I guess, a little bit. The dances of this era, although being somewhat basic, were still fun to do. You know what I'm saying? The dab, which got extremely overdone, like, ugh. You had to hit them folks, which was a nice little two-step dance move. Always thought it looked cool back then, still do. It was also that one little hip movement that I don't know what that's called. The Juju on that beat challenge had all the middle schoolers wilding out talking about some. But regardless of that, I still enjoyed watching the dance circles people used to do to new songs that used to come out back then. And of course, we can not forget the new wave of rappers making geek culture popular. Before 2016, you would get clowned for saying that you like anime, Pokemon cards, and things like that. After 2016, you would get clowned for saying that you don't like anime, Pokemon cards, and things like that. The new wave of rappers were unapologetic about their nerdiness, and as a result, nerd culture was everywhere. You had rappers putting out official and unofficial cover art of them as characters in their favorite franchises. One of these artists dropped a song, best believe it's gonna be inside an AMV. And people may cringe about them AMVs now, but during the time, it was cool, man. It was fun. Matter of fact, the whole era was fun. It was never more exciting to be a rap fan than during this era. But sadly, everything must come to an end.
Top 50 on the whole website.
Top 50 in what? Whose chart?
SoundCloud, the whole website.
What is the SoundCloud? How do I get a SoundCloud?
As the years went on, the website that used to be the place to listen to new music became less and less popular. People felt more obligated to use the new app to get your music heard. TikTok. This was where the youth was at, so the artists followed. Also alongside this, street rap began to have a resurgence. Not that it was ever dead, it just took a backseat to the people of the SoundCloud era is all. But with the introduction of Lil Baby and Gunna, and right after them, Polo G, Lil Durk became mainstream. Raw wave. It was safe to say the sound that had us hype in high school was officially gone. And for a little while, TikTok music and street rap was doing alright, you know what I'm saying? They was holding their own, but it would not take long for people to start getting sick of it. And when I say sick of it, I mean people not showing up to concerts sick. This era, which I guess you can call the TikTok era, would go to be known as the worst era in hip-hop. There were conversations going on back and forth of whether or not hip-hop was dying. And look, people may not have liked the artist that was popping up back in the SoundCloud era, but one thing you could not say was that hip-hop was dead. Rap was the #1 genre during that time, even with the whole emo movement of the SoundCloud era going on. Matter of fact, I'd say that helped it, actually. People who have never heard of rap in their life was bumping rap. And to fast forward to this, it's crazy. There's not many other words you can use. It's just crazy. This was one of the first times in hip-hop where you can't really name any new dance moves. Anything that stuck, anyway. You can't name any new artist that's about to take over. It was wild. Honestly, if Kendrick didn't set the world on fire last year with his beef with Drake, I don't know where we would be right now. RIP to the SoundCloud era, man. And thank you for giving me something to reminisce about for my teenage years. From ages 13 to 18, man. It was a blast. Dang, time flies. I still can't believe I'm about to be 23. Where's the time? And most importantly, rest in peace to all the artists we lost along the way. X and Jimmy Woo Wop, who both died on the exact same day around the exact same time. Mac Miller, Nipsey Hussle, Juice WRLD, Lil Peep, Pop Smoke, King Von, Lil Keed, PNB Rock, and Takeoff. It's crazy how out of everybody I mentioned, only 2 people made it to reach 30. Hopefully hip-hop is able to strive to new heights and maybe move into a new era. An era that we can look back at 10 years from now and say, yeah man, that was a great time.